When a business plateaus, the default instinct is usually to push harder. We assume the only way forward is to redline the engine, sell a higher volume of work, or ruthlessly strip out costs. Take a commercial contractor pulling in £2 million a year in revenue. Their pipeline is full, and they are winning bids left and right, but their margins are razor thin. A single delayed material shipment or minor site error wipes out the profit for the entire month, leaving cash flow in a constant state of stress. Their shrinking bank balance looks like a sales problem, but the real issue is pricing power. Pushing a broken lever doesn't create stability, it just accelerates the burnout. This diagram shows two hypothetical companies, Business A and Business B. They operate in the exact same industry, and they both generate an identical annual profit of £200,000. But if both owners decided to sell today, the market response would be drastically different. Buyers value Business A at £500,000, while Business B is valued at $1 million. The variable driving this massive gap is pricing power. It is the ability to set, maintain, and justify your prices regardless of what the competition is doing. Profit tells a buyer what a business earned yesterday. Pricing power tells them what it's worth tomorrow. Every company sits somewhere on a pricing spectrum. On one end, you have price takers, where the market dictates the rate and customers decide purely on cost. On the other end are price makers, businesses that dictate the market standard and face almost no price resistance. The reason moving toward the price maker position is so effective comes down to operating leverage. Because most of a company's costs, like rent, salaries, and software, are fixed, small adjustments to pricing have a disproportionate effect on the bottom line. Cutting 10% of fixed costs requires layoffs or downgraded materials, creating immediate operational friction. But if you increase prices by 10%, fixed costs remain untouched. That 10% drops straight to the bottom line without disrupting the business. Chasing cost savings is a defensive survival tactic, whereas building pricing power is an offensive growth strategy. Of course, the math only works if the market accepts the higher rate. How do companies consistently raise prices without driving customers away? The answer lives in human psychology. Walk down any supermarket aisle. People routinely bypass cheaper, functional generic products in favor of premium ones. Look at a premium category leader like Heinz sitting next to generic alternatives. The ingredients are nearly identical, the production facilities are comparable, yet the name brand commands a massive premium, sometimes double the price. The premium price covers psychological certainty, trust, and risk reduction, not a vastly superior bean. This anchoring effect applies across the board, as seen in the branding for McVitie's. These companies build a perception of quality that justifies the cost before the customer ever checks the price tag. The decision is emotional, logic is applied later. Pricing power is not derived from your cost base. It exists entirely as perceived desirability and risk reduction in the mind of the buyer. We can now return to Business A and Business B to answer why their identical profit margins yield wildly different market valuations. Business A operates as a generic provider. They win work by undercutting competitors and discounting heavily. Their profit exists, but it is highly fragile, ready to vanish the moment a cheaper alternative shows up. This diagram demonstrates how buyers apply a valuation multiple to that profit. Because the income carries a high risk of disappearing, buyers assign it a low multiple, say 2.5 times earnings, resulting in the £500,000 valuation. Business B is entirely different. Because they have established strong brand authority and specialize in a specific outcome, their customers stay loyal even when prices rise. This profit is highly secure, so the market applies a 5 times multiple, creating a valuation of £1 million. In an acquisition, the buyer purchases the certainty of future profit, a guarantee that the earnings will survive tomorrow. Building this certainty requires a clear distinction between pricing strategy and pricing power. Slapping a discount code on an invoice or bundling services together is a tactical strategy. It reacts to market pressure. True pricing power dictates the pressure. To gain that control, you have to move away from billing for your time or generic inputs. Instead, you pivot to selling specialized, fixed outcomes where you are the obvious choice to solve a specific problem. Instead of chasing a higher volume of services, you must focus on increasing the inherent worth of the business itself. To find out where you stand, take a pricing audit. It will help you diagnose your true market position, locate your profit leaks, and uncover the gaps between the value you provide and the price you charge. Structural business growth comes from making the market work for you, not from simply working harder.